This is Mountain Man coming to you from parts unknown. I hope everyone's doing well tonight. I am once again simulcasting on Rumble and Utizzle, and I hope this broadcast finds you well, and I hope my voice is coming through nice and clear. We're going to talk about all the wild and crazy stuff that's going on, what the world is being exposed to, the bright light of truth, making them rub their eyes and squint and look out and say, do I really believe what I'm seeing? Do I really? These have been the people that have been running the world for decades? The curtain's being pulled back. But anyway, I'm going to play my videos and I'm going to invert them. I want to play my last video before I play a new video. So this isn't going to go the usual way. This is going to be my last intro video first. Wow, you get yourselves a cup of coffee, a cold brouhaha, or maybe an adult beverage, whatever you would like to have. And then the second video, I think you will enjoy. So make sure you watch this, okay, while you're preparing your libation, because I think you'll enjoy it. And to quote Curly Howard, nyuk, 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 I think you will. So anyway, then we'll be like butter and get on a roll.
The storm zone.
Yes, sir.
I'm wondering what storm you're talking about.
They have unsuccessfully tried to take down the wrong person.
He's absolutely going to come back with full vengeance the next time around.
Now think about what 4 years of a retribution presidency might look like. Our Constitution really does give the president tremendous power to destroy. This will be something we could never have imagined.
Now the gloves are off.
Some of Trump's close political allies told him they are working on figuring out the identities of the FBI and DOJ staff and forming lists.
I will direct a completely overhauled DOJ to investigate every radical DA and AG in America for their illegal, racist enforcement of the law. The deep state is destroying our nation, but the tables must turn and we will quickly destroy the deep state. We know where the bodies are buried. There are a lot of people out there that have done some very, very evil things, very bad things, I would say treasonous things against our country. People that have done such harm to our country. I've been looking at them for a long time.
He could order the investigation and prosecution of individuals who he sees as enemies.
Put them all in jail where they belong. You gotta get tough and smart, and you have to fight fire with fire. You can't allow this to go on. And I will be the one to clean it up. I am your retribution. We will take care of it. We will take care of it.
Dust on my Bible, flags on the line. You laughed at our warnings, called truth a crime. You sold us your secrets, wrapped up like hope. Signed all our futures with a poison note. You sat in your mansions, we prayed in the rain. You cast every favor on a ledger of pain. You thought you were covered, names on a list, private plain pages you swore don't exist. Tick-tock, time's up, game over, you're done. Thought you hid in the shadows, but we watched every run. You sold out your own people, every promise a lie. Now the truth hits different with the world looking right in your eyes. Tick-tock, time's up, game over, you lose. Treason don't pay well when the light cuts through. God on our side and he's right on time. When the judge walks in, every bell gon' chime. Game over. You thought she was certain, thought he was too. Shook hands in the back room, said they'll never break through. You mocked every farmer, every steel-toed boo. Called him crazy and bitter while you buried the proof. Now screens start flashing, whole names, young kids, whole world scrolling through the things y'all did. Digital soldiers from the cornfields of Rome say leave our children alone or we're taking you home. Let's go! Tick-tock, time's up, game over, you're done. Thought you hid in the shadows, but we watched every run. You sold out your own people, every promise a lie. Now the truth hits different with the world looking right in your eyes. Tick-tock, time's up, game over, you lose. Treason don't pay well when the light cuts through. God on our side and he's right on time. When the judge walks in, every bell gon' chime. Game over. From the back roads to the big tall towers, patriots worldwide, this the final hour. You can beg, you can bargain, you can scream, you can hide, but the book's been written and your name's inside. Tick-tock, time's up, game over, you're done. Thought you hid in the shadows, but we watched every run. You sold out your own people, every promise a lie. Now the truth hits different with the world looking right in your eyes. Tick-tock, time's up, game over, you lose. Treason don't pay well when the light cuts through. God on our side and he's right on time. Nothing's gonna stop what's already signed. Game over.
Hi, folks. Thank you for joining me tonight. I hope you enjoyed that little ditty. I have no idea what the results will be. Will I get in trouble? Is it copyrighted? I don't know. But I liked it so much I thought I'd play it. And you can go back to the beginning of the video and play it at a slower rate and freeze frame some of the things that go by too quick. And I'll tell you what, how many of those posts that you see in what I just played that I have shown many times over the years. So, like I say, it's called being on the same page, folks, when we all are participating in the Great Awakening at the same time. So anyway, I appreciate everyone that's come to see me, who has come to see me tonight. KS Cleanup, Sherry, Darla, nice to see you. Robin, Miss Mindersu, Colette, Brett, nice to see you. Cole's here. Nice to see everybody. Darla's here. Robin's here. Let's see. Sparky, nice to see you. Todd's here. All right, everybody's rolling in, being like butter and getting on a roll. Hi, Flannel Cheese. Nice to see you. Ha-ha, for those that are uninitiated, anthrax is flannel cheese. So, people might think I missed somebody, but I don't. Sometimes I do. Randy, so how you doing, everybody? Let's see, who did I miss? Who did I miss? I guess I got it right. If I missed anybody, my most sincere apologies. But anyway, folks, Hillary Clinton, I didn't get to play her the other day. She made a complete idiot of herself. And I wonder if it's a humiliation ritual. I don't know. Mountain, how you doing? So, I don't know. She got up there. I'll play the video where she's extolling that individual who's a member of the House that wears a dress. And she's talking about standing up for all women. All women. We had two of the most horrible tragedies you could think of. The most bizarre situations that unbelievable. That you can't believe people would condone children being exposed to that kind of a lifestyle for 1 minute. Hey, Dad's home. Oh my God. But anyway, we'll get into that. So anyway, who else is coming in? Oh, all right. Angel, nice to see you. Angela, I mean, I get Angela and Angel sometime. Where's our Debbie's at? How many Debbies are we going to get tonight? I don't know. But anyway, folks, let me move this over so you can get a good screenshot of it and put it on your meta page. So anyway, folks, if there's any big news coming out, because I've got in my thumbnail, Mullahs Doomsday. I'll give you some reports of what's going on. We're moving some hardware over there, serious stuff. And Trump is being very benevolent, but firm. He's saying, you either cut this deal or it's going to hurt. You're going to get it. It's going to hurt. So anyway, we'll see how that comes along. Donald Trump posted this today. He posted this. I was thinking about that for a thumbnail. Maybe, I don't know. I'll keep it and see. People that doubted will soon see. Great clip, friend. I will be the one to shut it down. This is from Donald J. Trump. People who are saying, oh, nothing, there's been zero arrests, nothing, there's nothing happening. They got to settle down. They got to settle down. We got to do this in a way that causes the least upheaval and civil unrest as possible. There are very vulnerable people out there. Many Americans are just now waking up to the things we've known for years. Hi, Wayne. How you doing? He's giving me a thumbs up. Happy Two Bears. How you doing? Yes, please make sure you give me a thumbs up. It helps support the channel. I do appreciate it. There's Debbie. How you doing? And all my lurkers out there. It's okay to lurk. Don't forget. Let me get some of my booms fired up in case I got to do a boom. Oh, it's coming up. Boom! There we go. I got a boom fired up and ready to go in case I need to make some booms. But anyway, folks, yeah, lurking is fine. Make sure you lurk. Oh, my goodness. There we are. I'm trying to see if they still got me blocked. Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do. I can't even put anything in the chats. Who do you think's behind that? I don't know. Probably nobody, right? Just the way it goes on Utizzle, where you can't pin comments. You're not allowed to post things. And every foggy day you're getting copyright warnings or having your channel frozen for a week or taken all the way down. I don't know why. But anyway, I got something for him. Ha, ha, ha. I got something for him. Right here. I don't even know how those things work. What are they called? What are these things called? Not a PDF. What are they called? I don't know. I forget. But anyway, that's for Buy Me a Coffee. I want to thank Wayne for going to buy me a coffee this week. And, Mikey Bev goes every week. And I think it was twice last week. So I give them an honorable shout out too. So I appreciate it. And all the other people have supported me on the channel. I got this thing on there. You're supposed to be able to scan it. I don't know if it works or not. I will periodically pop it up on the screen. Will that get me in trouble too? I don't know. Perhaps. But anyway, here, something else for you to put on your meta page. I getting in arguments with these leftoids on Utizzle. It's just not worth it. I tell them to go sit in their own stink. Don't I put up, whatever my opinion is, and they come up with it. Blah, 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 blah. I just say, sit in your own stink. Sit in your own intellectual stench. I don't want to talk to you. I said what I said. Because you make no sense. You prattle. Look up the word inane. Inane. That is what the left is becoming. We know many of them are insane. But inane is a particular word that fits many of them. INANE, inane. So they're spiraling. Some of them are waking up. Some are scratching their heads going, oh, gee, I shouldn't be on this side. Maybe it's time to sidle on over to the right. Who knows? But Donald Trump is constantly telling people the election was stolen in 2020. We caught them all. People are going to be prosecuted. That's all things he said that I'm repeating. And I think things are moving along, not as fast as he would like or I would like or whatever, but it is satisfactory compared to where we were years ago. We're making leaps and bounds, strides by leaps and bounds. Colette, nice to see you. Who else came in? So I'll see if everybody knows what that thing was called I put on the screen. I knew what it was before I put it up, but I forgot. QR code. Thank you, Todd. Yeah, that's what it is. It's a QR code. Yeah, am I allowed to say that word even? Jiminy crickets. But anyway, here you go. For the inane people out there, here you are. Here's your thought process. Okay? You're delusional. You just don't get it. We're banging pots and pans right over your face as you lay in bed asleep, trying to wake you up to the idiocy you are espousing, embracing, endorsing. What is the matter with you? Okay? Every picture there is another level of inanity and insanity. So, yeah, Trump is doing a lot. So, I started off with that picture of Hillary, and I will play that video of her. And I had the video of the hockey rink incident. You all know what I'm talking about, but I didn't play it. I put it on screen for a second and said, oh, gosh, because nobody knew what happened. And I don't like playing videos of gunfire. I don't know the whole story. I do know that it is resulting in somebody losing their lives. I understood it was children involved. And I was up night before last. But news quickly came out that it was a Ani person, right? And Pawtucket ice rink. His name Richard Dorgan. Here's a better photo of him. No, I don't know if I could call it better. How that could ever be referred to as better, I have no idea. But this person was definitely in a mental crisis. Whether they knew it or not, they were a danger to themselves and others. They should have been placed in an institution for their own benefit, and sadly, as it turned out, for the benefit of the estranged wife. And 2 children didn't make it. One is injured, from what I understand. I believe I have that right. So, yeah, this person, here's one of the first reports that came out about it. Is this it? Let me see. Eyewitness News. I don't know. It's hard for me to keep everything in order. I don't have a production assistant. I just go.
Suburban teacher resigns, this after controversy surrounding a
Oh no, this is a school teacher that had to resign. Since I started playing it, I'll go ahead and play it, even though it's out of order issues we're discussing. It goes more to the inanity. This person should sue, and these parents that are having their kids drug out to these protests should sue.
social media post. The teacher at Gary Elementary in West Chicago posted the words "Go Ice." The school district placed that employee on leave while it investigated, and now we have learned that the teacher voluntarily resigned yesterday, and the board approved that resignation.
I hope he talked to attorneys before he did that. He should be able to support law enforcement at any time he wishes. But let me see if I could find this report on this Tranny individual. Well, you know, the sad thing about it was one of his daughters that wasn't present came out. Here she is. Gosh, I tell you what, I don't want to like playing this, but you know, it's a part of life. It's a part of history. It shows people have to be shown. You can't tell them. Here.
Shot my family, and he's dead now.
She described that shooting suspect as her father. She came out of the police department behind me here in tears after presumably being interviewed by police.
My father was a shooter.
What happened?
Shot my family, and he's dead now.
What was the reasoning? Was there a family argument?
He has mental health issues.
So yes, she goes on to describe those mental health issues a little bit more. She says that he had been struggling with mental health for quite some time. She said, quote, he was very sick.
Yes, very sick. And it's, you know, can you imagine going through that? He hunted them. He targeted them. The daughter came out with more statements afterwards that he went there fully with the intent to do what he did. He was full of anger. They didn't want to associate with him. I mean, can you imagine? Come on. He wants to come to your birthday party. You know, here you go. Happy birthday. Somebody had him at a birthday party, and they're pointing out this tattoo on his arm. This is breaking 911. Transgender Rhode Island ice hockey shooter had a large Yahtzee tattoo on his bicep, and there it is. The skull and bones, also known as a Totenkopf. I'm not sure if that's exactly of the SS Totenkopf, but it's a symbol of death, and nevertheless. So anyway, I want to see where that report is I had. Things get mixed up in the studio, however you pronounce it. But anyway, if I get to it, I'll put it up there. So it's a horrible situation. But I do have something I'll say is on the bright side. Remember that scrawny harpy that I played a video of that was turning in children and parents to Child Protective Services because they went to let me get that thing off screen. I probably got some other pictures of it, but turning in people to Child Protective Services because they went to a TPUSA event, right? She got, like I said, she got more nerve than bum tooth. People are going to support their country, to be patriotic, to profess their faith in God. And that is something that needs to be reported to Child Protective Services, while this emaciated harpy supports what we just saw on the screen, introducing that proposed lifestyle to children and confusing them about their gender and psychologically abusing them with doubts and ridiculous notions that they were born in the wrong body, causing them emotional distress. You're the one, woman, that needs to be reported. You're the one that needs to sit in jail. But anyway, here's a good update on that.
In December of 2025, Turning Point USA hosted an event marketed to high school students with food and beverages advertised as an incentive for attendance. While community building opportunities for students are important, this event raises serious concerns related to student safety, parental rights, and governance oversight. Event materials indicated that adults, including parents and legal guardians, were not permitted to attend and that supervision would be provided by unnamed volunteers. Based on the circumstances surrounding this event, a report was made to Child Protective Services.
There you have it. Liberals so triggered in Maryland over Turning Point USA, setting up a chapter at a school they called Child Protective Services, claiming it posed vulnerable students at risk, excluding parents and raising doubts and concerns about influence and safety.
Yeah, so the DOJ's Assistant Attorney General for Civil Rights, Harmeet Dillon, is on the case now, posting on X in response, quote, "I'm looking into this, Jack, and we were really talking about such an important topic." And Harmeet Dillon now stepping in at the DOJ. It's kind of a game changer. What kind of investigation do you expect here?
Well, look, we live in a situation where the previous administration in this country, that we had a Department of Justice that was cracking down on Christians, that was cracking down on pro-lifers, that was sending FBI agents into Catholics, which are, of course, celebrating Ash Wednesday today, many other Christians as well celebrating Ash Wednesday today. And so that was the DOJ that we had under the Biden administration. We have to remember that. Harmeet Dillon has been a champion for civil rights. She's someone that we have worked with for years. She's an absolute rock star when it comes to this. And she has been cracking down to make sure that the civil rights and civil liberties of a Turning Point USA student are the exact same as would be protected for any other student organization. You have a right in this country to be able to set up, again, these are Club Americas. The purpose of a Club America is to talk about how much you love the country, standing up for faith, for family, for freedom, just like what we did at our halftime show last week. The president just tweeted about this last night, talking about the ratings. So it's really something that is just Americana, a classic thing that you would want people to join. Of course, it's something that we've had an absolute explosion of in the wake of Charlie's unfortunate murder just a couple of months ago, 5 months ago. And so it's unfortunate, really, that Harmeet Dillon at the Department of Justice would have to weigh in on here, because you have liberals like this busybody who, by the way, as far as we know, doesn't have any connection to the school, is not related to any of the students, doesn't have anyone who's associated with this, but she's going so far as to file criminal reports because that's how much she wants to shove her ideology down. We're not forcing our ideology. It's the schools and people like this that have been forcing their ideology on children.
Yeah, Jack, you mentioned it, too, with the success of the halftime show, the All-American halftime show, new chapters getting approved all across the country. I mean, Turning Point is really exploding on the scene right now because people want conservative leadership and thought.
Well, look, when I came up with this idea for the show, it was really inspired by Charlie. That was something that Charlie always talked about, the halftime show. He said, why don't we just have a show that celebrates America, that plays some rock music, that plays some country music, the type of music that, by the way, is #1 in this country when you look in terms of searches, when you look in terms of radio plays, when you look in terms of sales of tickets, and yet has been constantly deplatformed by the NFL, by Jay-Z and Rock Nation, who run the halftime show with, of course, Beyonce and their buddies at the Obama family. So we came up and said, why don't we just provide an alternative? And again, the same as Club Americas, we are not forcing anyone to watch. We are not forcing our ideology. They're the ones who force their ideology on people using social programming, things like the Super Bowl halftime show and things like these woke teachers unions that are going around the country and pushing this far left agenda. And if there was ever any silver lining to COVID, we finally, I think, as a country, were able to wake up, look over our shoulder in those sort of Zoom classrooms that were going on, look over the shoulder of the kids, and actually realize what was going on in these schools.
Yeah. Jack Posobiec, my friend, good to see you. Such great work going on there. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good to see you, Charlie. God bless, guys.
Yeah, that's Jack Posobiec. I see the comments in there. It's Ash Wednesday. People that aren't Catholics may not know about the priest putting ashes on your forehead. It's beginning of Lent. where you give up something for 40 days. But I was watching Doug TenNapel, and he said something about the mark on another person. I think they were maybe talking before Congress or something. And he said, oh, it looks like somebody touched him with a cross and his forehead burned. He might, because he's satanic or whatever. I don't think it's wise to go on TV like that. I know he wants to boldly profess his faith, but it does look awkward, and it distracts from what his message is. We're taught, I'm a Catholic, and we're taught to be humble. When you grieve the loss of a person, you're supposed to make efforts to keep your hair combed and not put on overt show. And with your prayer, you're supposed to be humble about it and not run around pontificating. So I agree that it was a little much. He probably should have. You did it. You got the ash from the priest to honor Ash Wednesday. You're going to go on TV and you want people to listen to your words. You probably should have cleaned that up. Yeah, they do, Colette. They do wipe them away. It depends on the individual. You're not required to go to bed with that on your forehead. It's like you get your communion. You take the wafer, you put it in your mouth, you swallow it, you're done. You go to confession. You can bear your cross and confess your sins, and then you leave, and you don't go around all day, miserable over what you did in the past, and you don't walk around all week with the remnants of the ashes on your head. So I don't think he should have done it. I think it was distracting. Anyway, it's all what people want to do on their own, but we have free will, and if that's the way he wants to go on TV, that's the way he goes. But anyway, let me see what's going on. Hi, Roland. How you doing? Nice to see you. So anyway, yeah, we're supposed to be humble in our faith, okay? And your actions and the words coming out of your mouth and your behaviors is what's important. Yeah. Melinda, yeah, somebody that had one of those surgeries done. Well, bless you for, maintaining a relationship. Maybe you can help them in the future. But I personally, I would have to inflect whether or not I would even want to deal with that person beyond saying, you need therapy, you need to see a priest, you need to clean your filthy soul. To quote Padre Pio, you're going down a path I can't follow, and when you're in a better mood or straighten yourself out a little bit, come on by, see me. Until then, you are committing heresy and blasphemy, and I don't want to be involved with that. So you want me to respect you? You need to respect me, and have a nice day. Goodbye. That's the way I look at it right now, but I haven't had anybody close to me do that to themselves. But I certainly wouldn't want to interact with someone like that. But anyway, before I get into a lot of stuff we're going to talk about, Jesse Jackson passed away. I was just going to put up a post announcing he passed away. I think he lost a terrific opportunity to help this nation, and if he's one of the reasons I said to myself, who decides who's a reverend? How can you walk around with that reverend title? Al Sharpton calls himself a reverend. He's pro-abortion, pro-tranny, it's all blasphemy. It's all heretical. Where did they get off with the Reverend name? Now, Jesse Jackson won that. The party forced him out. The party forced him out. The lunatics. It was too much of a wave. He couldn't resist it on his own. But he was friends with Donald Trump. He had powerful friends. He could have stood his ground. But that's something he has to deal with as he goes where we all must go. As I said before, it's not elective. It's not elective when you stand before Christ. Oh, we all will. The Reverend Jesse Louis Jackson, the towering civil rights leader whose moral vision and fiery oratory reshaped the Democratic Party in America, has died. A Rainbow Push Coalition spokesman confirmed to CNN. He was 84. Now, I talked in the past that it was a wonderful opportunity for him. I think I said last year that he could come out and reset the direction of the Democrat Party, reset the spiritual direction of the Democrat Party. He had the power to do it, and he certainly had support by rejecting, especially introducing the notions that we're seeing being introduced to young children now. He should have firmly stood against that. And he started the rainbow, not for all these different bedroom predilections. That's the way I'll put it. Bedroom predilections. That was not what the Rainbow Coalition was. The rainbow was supposed to be all the colors of humanity coming together. So he pretty much got overwhelmed. I know he had health problems. He wasn't able to. He didn't have the energy, and he had some serious illnesses. But he didn't stand for the word. And that's his issue. He will have to resolve one way or the other as he goes to where we all must go. But anyway, here is the Reverend Jesse Jackson talking about Donald J. Trump in the past.
I now want to bring forth a friend who, when we opened this Wall Street project and we talked about it, he gave us space at 40 Wall Street, which was to make a statement about our having a presence there. And beyond that, in terms of reaching out and being inclusive, he's done that too. And created for many people a comfort zone when I ran for the presidency in 84 and 88. And many others thought it was either laughable or something to avoid. He came to our business meeting here in New York because he has this sense of the curious and a will to risk to make things better. Who's an effective builder of building with the builder people. Last year he was a part of our workshop, of our panel workshop on what are the challenges and opportunities. And so a year later, Donald Trump, for a few minutes, challenges and opportunities to embrace the underserved communities. Donald Trump.
Well, it is an honor to be here, and I was with Jesse last year, and we had a lot of fun, and it was a little different. Jesse started off by saying, most of the wealth in this country is in the hands of a few. And I thought to myself, is that a bad thing? What's wrong with that, Jesse? And he said, listen, I want some office space in your building on Wall Street, because the wall on Wall will fall. And I said, it's okay, Jesse, I'll make a good deal with you. I'll get you some space. You'll pay about $40 a foot. And he said, no. I don't want to pay 40. I said, how about 30? No. It was the cheapest deal I ever made in the history of 40 Wall Street. Is that right? He got it for nothing. He's a very tough negotiator. You know that, right? He's a terrific guy. We love him, and I'm here for him. And I will tell you, a large percentage of the people, and especially in construction, that are building these great jobs are black and minorities, and I'm very proud of it. We have close to 25%, and I think the number's going up, and they do a great job. There are no better builders than we have in New York, and a big percentage of that is black and minority.
When do you think you'll ever see the left play that clip? Let me guess. Never. Never. So, Donald Trump put out a statement about Jesse Jackson. And I'm sure most of you have read it, that he was a towering figure, a force of nature, I believe he said at some point in his discussion of him. And hi, Greg, how you doing? I shouldn't judge Jesse Jackson, by his silence over the years while his party was overrun by lunatics. I can't judge him. So anyway, we'll go on to other things. Here is what Trump put out today, or yesterday, I'm sorry, was the 5th anniversary. To put in perspective how long we've been dealing with this battle. It's been 5 years since Rush Limbaugh passed away. So he's honoring Rush Limbaugh and at the same time Jesse Jackson. But he's keeping a balance, okay? A balance.
Well, this is the 5th anniversary of the loss of a really great man, a great conservative, somebody that loved our country, loved his family, loved a lot of things, but he was a friend of mine, Rush Limbaugh. I'd never met Rush when I announced that I was running. I'll never forget, 2015, and I got a call all excited that Rush Limbaugh just endorsed you. I never met him. He liked my opening speech. He liked when I got up in June and I said, we got bad borders, we got bad crime, we got bad everything. And he liked it. I came down the escalator with now our First Lady, and he thought it was great. And he endorsed me, and then I got to know him, and I realized what a great guy he was. But it's 5 years that we miss Rush. As Sean Hannity would often say, there will never be another Rush Limbaugh. So to his family, his great wife and family, I just want to say we miss you all. We miss him, and there'll never be anybody like him. Thank you very much.
So true, so true. 30 million viewers he would have, not viewers, listeners. Unbelievable, unheard of. That showed you there was a great desire in this country. Here's Rush. Let me see. Desire in this country for people who recognized and was resisting the damage that was being done to this country, which was really becoming apparent during the Clinton administration and all the mysterious things that were happening at that time. Can you say Vince Foster? That was one of the first ones. But here's Rush Limbaugh.
There was a conference. What was it? Turning Point USA. How many kids were there? And there 3,000 student activists here it was actually over in West Palm Beach. And this is a group that has been put together and operates under the auspices of Charlie Kirk, right? Who is you're going to be hearing that name if you haven't. Charlie Kirk. Let me just tell you. I don't want to jinx him, but I'm just going to tell you. They brought Charlie Kirk to the golf course to meet me about a month ago. He was in town to set up this Turning Point thing, and they brought him to the golf course to meet me. It was we were getting ready for a 8:45 a.m. start, and they brought him out while I was getting ready to go to the range to loosen up. And I spoke with him for about a half hour, and he told me how he grew up in a home where my program was on all the time. He was just effusively complimentary to me, which I, of course, understood and told him he's very wise. His family's very wise. He chuckled. He laughed. This is the kind of guy that you can see really becoming big in politics as he gets older. He just has the carriage, the personality, the charisma. You may think this sounds weird, but I remember when Bill Clinton became president, there were all of these stories about Bill Clinton at Oxford and Bill Clinton at Yale and Bill Clinton here and all these people who went to school with him. There were story after story after story where people were saying that they just knew Bill Clinton was going to be president someday. In college, he just had that kind of ambition, and he impressed people in a way that he could. I'm telling you that people are saying the same things about Charlie Kirk.
So, yeah, he was talking about Charlie Kirk a long time ago and likening him to Clinton as far as potential and the feel that he gave people. And, of course, we know what happened with Charlie. And I had a post that I can just reiterate to you all if I can't find it, was that just before he was shot, the question he was answering or was asked, he didn't get a chance to answer, was should there be a ban of firearms to trans people? I believe this is it. The last question Charlie Kirk answered were about a trans ban, a trans gun ban. That initiative has stalled. There he is moments before he was brutally murdered. The sun beat down on 3,000 eager attendees as Hunter Kozak approached the microphone at the bottom of the amphitheater to talk to Charlie Kirk. So, yeah, eerie that we're seeing the things we're seeing, especially what I saw, what I put in the thumbnail. Whom do you serve? Whom do you serve, Hillary? It certainly isn't the word or promoting living in a way that pleases God. It's the exact opposite. So, and we're seeing the fruits of your efforts and many other people's efforts. So, and it isn't good. You know, I played that Newsmax clip. That was Newsmax about the woman who was going to turn in parents to Child Protective Services. Well, Newsmax put out this is something interesting. What have you all heard about this? Because, you know, you always consider the source, right? Steve Bannon, close to Epstein, backed Trump removal. My chats are frozen or something. Backed Trump removal. Have you all heard of this? What's going to be the fallout from that? Very, very interesting. So, I want to play a couple of clips of Hillary because she is putting this stuff out before the world. Here we go. Here she is. One of several clips I have of her. Who in their right mind could support this person?
Someone who's been involved in this work for a long time in trying to explain and truly bring people together around issues of gender, and that's Sarah McBride, U.S. Congresswoman from the state of Delaware. You know, as a gender rights champion, and also the first openly transgender member of the United States Congress, you've been on the front lines of this fight, and you've also been on the receiving end of so many threats and attacks that come from, again, in many ways, organized efforts. So when you hear Neil talking about it from a European perspective, although he did bring us in at the end there, Sarah, how do you see it from the United States? And I want to underscore how truly effective Sarah has been in talking with her colleagues, first in the legislature, the state legislature in Delaware, now in Congress, and you have shown immense grace, in the face of attacks even from your fellow members of Congress?
Well, thank you so much for those incredibly...
Yeah, it's really graceful. But her discussing this person being attacked and all this negativity, that is what this person at the hockey rink was relying on and hanging their hat on to justify what they did, that they were victims, they were being attacked, and nobody's attacked this person. Nobody's, it's the what we've seen is nothing but attacks from that group, especially on younger, weak opponents that can't defend themselves. But here's the graceful individual. And the people in Europe, especially Eastern Europe, Slavic countries, people in the Near East, Middle East, I bet they can't believe what they're seeing. This was at Munich, by the way.
Kind words. It's an honor to be here with you, Secretary Clinton. It's an honor to be here with another trailblazer, Speaker Emerita Nancy Pelosi. And of course, it's an honor to be here with my fellow panelists. And the mayor of Boston, Michelle Wu, as well. Once politicians start naming other politicians in a room, it never stops. There is no question in the United States that after decades of historic progress on gender equality writ large, and specifically more recently on LGBTQ rights, that we are facing, as you mentioned, a well-organized, well-funded, right-wing regressive movement. And they really have placed trans people at the center of that effort, but we should be clear that the consequences of this anti-trans effort, not only out of proximity, but out of intentionality, will include consequences for women of all backgrounds. Because at the end of the day, transphobia, homophobia, misogyny, and sexism are all rooted in the same prejudice. The belief that one perception at birth should dictate who you are, how you act, what you do, who you love, and how you dress. And it's why threats toward trans people are threats toward all women. Because when they use trans people as the tip of the spear, when they come after trans people, as they are doing right now, using us as a political wedge issue, using people like me, using me, as you mentioned, as a political pawn, not only are they licensing discrimination against trans people, they're sanctioning gender policing that we know in reality actually disproportionately targets non-transgender women.
Yeah, that makes about as much sense as windshield wipers on a donkey's rear end. And I wasn't aware of it at the time, but Nancy Pelosi and Michelle Wu, did you catch them in the audience? I got a shot of that. What are they doing at something concerning foreign affairs? Here they're all smiling and listening to this man dressed as a woman talking about protecting women and what's best for women. It's inane. It's inane. But that's what we have. And yes, I saw somebody in chat. Is that a man? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Now, they would argue different, but it is a direct challenge to the to people of many faiths around the world, millions and millions of Americans. I would posit to you a vast majority of Americans in this country. It is a direct challenge, a direct, I guess, slur against these people, me included, to say that we are harming them somehow because we don't want to associate with them. Okay, that we reject their notions because of our faith and our common sense, that the insinuation is that we are bad or evil. So, no, we're not going to put up with it. We don't sit in your own intellectual stench. Don't talk to me. Talk to somebody else. So, they need to be roundly repudiated, which is what we're doing. And it doesn't have to be in a mean way. Doesn't have to be in a mean way. Just I don't like you, and I don't want you liking me. It's real simple. So anyway, who is this person? Oh, Christina Guaya put this person up. Now, you know what? I don't want to be nasty to people because, when God was handing out beauty, this person was in the wrong line. And, I could see if she was a pensioner, or as they call that over in Europe, or somebody on Social Security here, or what, very limited means, to have this appearance. But, this is somebody who's, let's see, Senator Murray. Okay? A senator. You can't do anything better with your appearance. You look disgusting. I don't care if Stephen Miller wants ICE to be able to beat up, shoot, or detain citizens. In America, we believe in due process. We believe in our Constitution. We believe in law and order, safe streets, law enforcement we can trust. If you don't like that, go to Russia. Well, you're violating the Constitution by letting all these people in. You're breaking the law by harboring them. You double talk lies. And plus you look like a bag of beat up doorknobs. So anyway, more inciting public hostility and also stoking the flames of ignorance, because they can take off, believe me. The flames of ignorance can take off and spread. And that's what we're seeing. Here, this idiot, Colbert. And of course, this is CNN putting this garbage out. Colbert says CBS scrapped his James Tallarico interview after Trump's FCC threats. Some character in Texas running for office. And he's getting, the best treatment and making fun of Republicans. And it's all lefty sided. They didn't censor you. They told you you had to give equal time. It's the law. But here's the way they fan the flames of ignorance. Stephen Colbert taped the Late Show interview with James Tallarico, a candidate in the Democratic Senate primary in Texas on Monday. But he says CBS lawyers intervened before the interview could air on TV. We were told no uncertain terms by our network's lawyers, who called us directly that we could not have him on the broadcast. So everybody's hollering, censorship! This is what the Yahtzees did. No, idiot. You just have to have his opponent get a fair shake. CBS is public airwaves. Public airwaves. And you're accountable to the law as far as using those public airways. And didn't you get fired already? What the hell are you even doing there? When are you getting the hell out? That's what we want to know. Pretty soon, I hope. That's right, Felix. Norman? You've been a bad boy, Norman. And Norman's got a dress on. Anyway, I was just looking through chats. So, anyway, I got a couple of clips of Hillary. One of them, she said she never knew Epstein. What a bold-faced lie. Wait till the stuff comes out. People are saying that when Trump gives his State of the Union, that he might play the Trump card. Don't get your hopes up, because that's what they like to do. Trump is going to play it out the way it needs to get played out. But it would be nice.
What was your reaction when you saw some of the material that has been released? I'm thinking, for example, of images of your husband apparently in a hot tub in a swimming pool on Epstein's plane. What was your reaction to that? And do you know the context surrounding some of those images?
Absolutely. And it wasn't a hot tub on a plane. It was one of the stops they made to look at philanthropic and charitable work that my husband has done, saving literally millions of lives around the world. It turned out that was done long before there was any public awareness and certainly any conviction of any crime by Jeffrey Epstein. So it was a short period of time that was in pursuit of charitable philanthropic work. A lot of people were traveling at the same time. Many staff members, guests, other supporters of the foundation. If Bill and I had a penny for every person we've taken pictures with, we would be extremely rich today.
Well, you are extremely rich today, mostly because of the Clinton Foundation. And Jeffrey Epstein helped you with that. So your timeline of O's before he got charged, well, we'll see about that, Hillary. And yeah, she does look like hell. She looks like crap because they're under a lot of stress. Okay? This is a second clip. They're trying to play it off like, well, we want to testify, but we want it public because we want to inform the public. The truth is they have to be deposed, recorded in case it's needed in the future, but it has to be in private right now to discuss issues that are classified or confidential to comply with grand jury the laws around grand jury secrecy. But you're being questions about crime, okay? Criminal. And it will be done in private. And if you want to talk publicly, the next day, Comer said you're welcome to. You're welcome to that. But you have to be deposed about issues that cannot be disclosed at this time to the public. So anyway, here she is.
Do you regret the links that there have been?
You know, we have no links. We have a very clear record that we've been willing to talk about, which my husband has said. He took some rides on the airplane for his charitable work. I don't recall ever meeting him.
Did you ever meet Ghislaine Maxwell?
I did on a few occasions, and thousands of people go to the Clinton Global Initiative. So it to me is not something that is really at the heart of what this matter is about. They are accused, and in both cases were convicted of horrific crimes against girls and women. That should be the focus. And we are more than happy to say what we know, which is very limited and totally unrelated to their behavior or their crimes. And we want to do it in public because let's make this transparent.
There are calls for another individual who denies wrongdoing to go before Congress on this matter. Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, formerly Prince Andrew. Do you think he should testify?
I think everybody should testify. Look,
including the former prince?
I think everybody should testify who is asked to testify. I just want it to be fair. I want everybody treated the same way. That's not true for my husband and me because other witnesses were asked to testify. They gave written statements under oath. We offered that. They want to pull us. Why do they want to pull us into this? To divert attention from President Trump. This is not complicated.
Yeah, it's not complicated, Hillary. Just testify and answer the questions or go to jail, okay? Which you may end up doing anyway. No, you will. You will. You're a criminal. You know, whoa, I hit the wrong button there. We were talking about there was only one Rush Limbaugh and how unique Charlie Kirk was. Well, keep in mind, this is a very singular man here, too. You only get so many Donald Trumps. James Wood said, we will never have, by every good metric imaginable, a president as great as Donald Trump. He has literally been one man in the storm, turning back a tsunami of graft, corruption, and sloth in Washington and beyond. He is a gladiator, a truly unstoppable force of nature. So I had a friend tell me today that, we don't got a lot of time, and I agree. But where's the brink? Where's the precipice? That's where people have to be. Is seeing stuff like this on a recurring basis pushing people toward the precipice? It's certainly waking people up. That's the family that lost their lives to that individual and the lifestyle that Hillary and her Luciferian friends are advocating. She didn't want to stay married to him. Can you imagine marrying someone, having multiple children, and then he cuts his dangling participle off? No, you don't want to be married to him anymore. That's not what you bought into. It's just like the message Rubio and Trump are giving to Europe. You've changed. Our agreements cannot stay the same because you're not the same entity you were. And that's what happened with him. Mother, Rhonda, lost her life. Son, Aiden, in yellow, lost his life. Son in green was on the ice. I spoke with best friend of Aiden, who told me he was a math genius, became an engineer, was sitting with his fiancée at the game. Aiden jumped up to try and protect his mom and lost his life by the hand of his father. His father, who had lost his mind. Okay, I don't care what anybody says. In my opinion, obviously, he was a threat to himself and others. So we got this undeniable trend going on. Here's the, this is CNN, Citizen Free Press put this out. Whoa. I think this was an early report about that situation. NBC put out, citing a law enforcement source, the suspect was a father who may have been dressed in woman's clothing. That's the way they word it. Instead of coming out and telling it like it is. Bring back insane asylums. Here's the, I think this is a report I was looking for earlier, update on hockey. She looks like she's stunned. She don't know what to think.
So what I can say right now that we have identified the person, the suspect, by a birth name. The birth name was Robert Dorgan. We have also learned that the person does go by the name of Roberta, also uses a last name of Esposito. But again, that will be all confirmed throughout the course of the investigation as to their status that really doesn't have anything to do with the investigation. 1969 he was born.
She's a police chief. That's right. I remember now. She's the police chief. No comment. No comment. Anyway, here we go. Nicole Smith. She looks pretty beat up. But here's Pam Bondi underneath. What is Nicole Smith talking about with Pam Bondi? Let's see. As reported by MS Now, formerly MSDNC, Nicole Wallace reacts to the continued fallout over the way Trump's Justice Department has handled the Epstein files scandal. Oh, it's a scandal for Trump, and how the lies fed to MAGA base have backfired spectacularly on the administration. They are creating a phony world, and how many people fall into it are unbelievable. Trump is the only one that disclosed stuff. Trump's the only one that had them arrested. Trump's the only one that condemned them. Trump is the only one that's going to put out more stuff about them. But somehow, if they just continue to say, it's Trump's problem, it blew up in Trump's face, it's Trump's scandal, it's ridiculous. It should be criminal the way they're doing this. And it may very well be. They're walking a fine damn line. A fine line. It wouldn't bother me one bit if they got thrown in jail over it. The Independent put out, Epstein was invited to gatherings with dozens of members of Congress years after his initial arrest. Documents reveal there was a congressman's birthday gala, a senator's fundraiser at billionaire's home, a breakfast discussing Homeland Security with Jeffrey Epstein after he'd been convicted. Wait a minute, let me see what. There was another part to that. Well, maybe not. I don't know. Whoa, gotta keep my Donald Trump. Anyway, here is this part of it? Let me see. Uh-oh. Here's CNN. Well, they're up to no damn good. The European Union's data privacy watchdog has launched an investigation into Elon Musk's X over S3 actualized images generated by the social media site's AI chat box, Grok. They're looking for a reason to shut down X or fine the platform so much money they essentially put it out of business. And they're using this straw man of AI-generated images. When all these other sites we've talked about in the past, like Mastodon, and what Twitter used to put out, nobody ever made a peep about the real stuff. Never mind AI-generated images. Hi, Robert. How you doing? Who else snuck in here? EDK, how you doing? Yeah, explain the redaction of the girls in the photo. Well, I've been hearing more and more news reports talking about the fact that a lot of these people that are saying they're victims were part and parcel of the crime. I've talked about it in the past. Just because they're a few months or 1 year under the age of 18 or whatever doesn't exonerate them or give them immunity from criminal acts. So a lot of these so-called victims may be looking at some problems on their own. What's this one? A truth put out by Citizens Free Press. Washington State House Democrats just voted to raid $4 billion from law enforcement and firefighter pension program or plan to cover the deficit. Every Republican in the state house voted against it. Boy, a lot of these unions are heavy Democrat. If they can't see what the hell's going on and change their ways.
We take our finger and press this button tonight. That is a $4 billion vote. And the next thing will be an income tax and many other taxes. After the largest tax increases in state history, and all the while a spending addiction that is totally out of control.
These are retired firefighters. These are retired police officers who have worked so hard. And then when they see the hands of Olympia reaching in to take their retirement, they take it personal.
We have spent so much money in so many ways on so many unsustainable programs that we've forced ourselves into a hole that a year after we have record increases in taxes, over $9 billion of new taxes, we're immediately coming back and asking our retirees to shoulder a massive shift of their funds to balance the budget.
If this were a private corporation, we'd be screaming bloody murder that they were raiding their employees' pension funds.
We are continuing to spend more than we take in, and we're going to come back next year and we're going to even have a worse deficit.
We have record revenues, Madam Speaker. We have a record $78 billion budget. And despite slowing revenues, our revenues still continue to climb. We don't need to raid the Left One pension.
Well, they're going to raid it. And people forget that, Hiawatha, or whatever her name is, Sacagawea, what's her name? Trump calls her. Her and Hillary Clinton were floating the idea of nationalizing people's 401ks. Okay? So they could do the same thing that they're doing here, is raiding people's savings. You know, somebody said one time that people in the mafia, but criminals in general, they look at other people's wealth or possessions, and all they think about is how they can make it theirs. That's all they think about. They don't say, "Oh, I'm so happy for them that they have a nicer car or they have some extra money to go on vacation." No, they don't think that way. They think of it as inherently theirs. They just have to find the right way to get possession of it. And that's the same way with politicians. Trump put out a couple of long clips about election fraud. I don't know if I'm going to play those tonight because, like I say, they're long clips, maybe even tomorrow night. I wasn't thinking about doing a picture show. I was thinking about tomorrow doing a talking head. But anyway, here is a California judge orders a San Diego hospital to continue, quote, gender-affirming care. Hospital decided to shut it down, but a Democrat judge had other ideas. These people are lunatics. How can you tell a young boy that you're affirming his gender by committing all life-altering permanent surgeries to them? I think there should be a special jail for these judges. This is criminal crimes against humanity. When you physically and permanently alter a child, that's what he's ordering right now.
It's fair to say, or is it not? But right now, the issues are in flux.
A judge here in downtown San Diego ruled that Rady Children's Hospital will need to continue offering their gender-affirming care at least through March 10th, with the exception of any major surgeries.
Are you being a little preemptive at this point?
I'm Dana Williams, a reporter with NBC here in San Diego. You may remember all of this came in mid-January when Rady Children's Hospital came out and said they were halting all gender-affirming care for patients under the age of 19. And why they did this, they say they were concerned after a mid-December declaration from RFK Jr., Secretary of the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, that said that any hospital that does offer gender-affirming care could be at risk of losing federal funding and losing out on federal programs like Medicare and Medicaid.
I think it's a risk that we cannot take. There are 800,000 kids with hundreds of thousands of emergency room visits per day. And that is the impossible situation we are in right now.
Then that decision put them really in between the federal government and the state government. And Attorney General of California, Rob Bonta, came in and filed a lawsuit against Rady Children's Hospital, saying that they cannot decide by themselves to no longer offer gender-affirming care. And that was part of the decision made today while this sort of plays out and while the council, with the attorneys on both sides, work on what to do moving forward. The judge said, Rady, you need to continue to offer most of your services in the meantime. Rady Council, though, hunkered down and reiterated that they are so concerned about losing this funding. They called it an imminent risk. The judge says in the event that they get a notice from HHS that they will lose federal dollars, they'll be back in this courtroom within 24 hours to try to figure out what to do next. Again, all of this really only lasting until March 10th, when the next hearing is scheduled to happen.
Well, I guess the thing to do is have some marshals go down there. Anybody with a scalpel getting ready to take it to an innocent young child, you arrest them. What else you do? Just let them mutilate them? Look at this idiot. An idiot right here. Hey, idiot. What's this idiot doing? Face the disgrace of the nation. Democrat Representative Robert Garcia of California says that DHS is, quote, causing terror across this country. And some Republicans are starting to show some concern, but they need to show more courage about the agency's action. Well, you are sitting here beating a drum, making people afraid of ICE and vilifying ICE when they're doing exactly what they need to do, which is remove people who don't belong in this country. And you're saying people are being victimized because of deportations. Let me find this article. It's awful. Let me see if I can find it. Here. Who are these two? Who are these two illegals here? Who's the one terrorizing who? Christina Guai put this up. 2 men broke into a man's home, tied him up, beat him, and S3 actually assaulted him. Had been identified as illegal immigrants, whatever. I had people say when I was talking about the Guthrie case, which Trump said he's going to push for the death penalty. Whoever's involved. People saying, well, nobody would do that to an 84-year-old woman. That's just not what somebody would assault her, S3 actually, because she's an old woman. What are you, crazy? There are people of all kinds of weird fetishes and mental diseases. Here you got 2 of them breaking in and taking a mail. Pitt County authorities in California have arrested the 2 illegal immigrants. Deputies from the Pitt County Sheriff's Office responded at 3:16 a.m. from a home in Greensville, Cherry Oaks neighborhood. The victim, a man living at the property, was found seriously injured after having been beaten and raped. He was rushed to ECU Medical Health Center for treatment. 21 years old, Zaid Mayan, an accomplice, 20-year-old Jonathan Davis Garcia Larios, were arrested days later. Both men are in the country illegally. They are being charged with first-degree burglary, assault with a deadly weapon with intent to KILL, inflicting serious injury, first-degree kidnapping, and first-degree forcible S3X offenses. And the character I just had on was talking about how ICE, Homeland Security, is terrorizing people. How do you think the people in Nancy Guthrie's neighborhood are sleeping? How much you want to bet dollars to donuts? Whoever was involved in whatever the motives was, that these people are either illegal or they have ties to cartels in some way. Rampant criminality. Rampant criminality. No, just take them out in the old chiropractic neck stretch. Not life without parole. Chiropractic neck stretch. By the way, this is a viewer-supported channel. Totally viewer-supported. That's why there ain't any commercials. I'm not monetized by YouTube or anything like that. I get support from people in Buy Me a Coffee. If you'd like to stop by, you can Google, gaggle, whatever. Buy Me a Coffee Mountain Man. Or you can do whatever you do with this thing on the screen. I don't know. But anyway, I do appreciate Wayne for helping out this week, and also Mike and Bev for their repeated support over the many weeks, and all the other folks. Miss Menders, who started off last week, huge. I appreciate that. Ha ha! Chippers unite, she said. But anyway, throw them in the wood chipper. Yeah. But anyway, yeah. So there's the Buy Me a Coffee. Your support is greatly appreciated if you want to help an old man out. But anyway, let me see. I saw this. And I said, y'all are going to call me crazy. And I put out one of my notions as why Nancy Guthrie got kidnapped. Right? Wild conspiracy theory emerges between Epstein, Nancy Guthrie. That's on Sky News Australia, not to be confused with Sky News. And, it's like I was saying. It could be sending her a message, Savannah, a message. So, hey, I don't know anybody at Sky News Australia. But apparently I'm not the only one who thinks that may be an issue. An issue. Donald Trump put this video up. Here. John Solomon. 1 minute and 59 seconds. I got it. Let's see. What are you telling us, Donald Trump? Let's see. John Solomon. He's been around a long time. They say he's got inside info.
Now we have a bunch of lazy senators who want to threaten the filibuster and not get off their feet and talk and really represent the people and stand for what they believe in. And all the American people are asking John Thune to do is to restore the Senate to the way it used to work before Mitch McConnell's lazy filibuster ideas kind of came into play. And I think that the American people are going to be there. Here's what I think is going to happen, Dan. And I think you probably know some of this because you had a foresight into some of the things that the Bureau now knows that was kept from the American public. I think Donald Trump is going to change the narrative in America. I think he's going to change some senators' minds, and he's going to do it by revealing some of the things that Chris Wray and that Chris Krebs and other major officials who were in charge of the integrity of our elections and who told us it was a perfect election in 2020. He's going to start revealing some of the intelligence that was kept from the American people. And we're going to see that our foreign adversaries have monkeyed with our system more than we knew, more than those driver's licenses coming into Chicago that you helped get all of us to understand about a few months ago about China sending fake driver's licenses to help Joe Biden in. There are going to be significant efforts by foreign powers, some friends, some enemies, that were trying to meddle in the system, and they got pretty far down that path. And I think when senators realized their state could have been targeted, when senators realized that the intention of the identities of some of their voters might have been assumed, I think there's going to be a different debate in America. And I think if the president takes the time to educate people and show them that maybe the stories we got from the last leadership weren't true, I think he's going to pick off the votes. And then the American people are going to put some pressure on John Thune, and they're going to surgically implant a stiff back, and he's going to change that filibuster for this particular thing, make it a standing filibuster, make the Democrats talk till they drop, and then we'll get a vote in the summer. But I think there's some big, significant, and very troubling revelations about the vulnerabilities of our elections that the president is about to unveil on the American public.
So that is leading people to think that perhaps his State of the Union, he may drop some information about foreign interference that is going to be irrefutable. Irrefutable. And I don't know, maybe I don't want to get people's hopes up, but I'd like to see him announce arrests. So, John Solomon. Cole, they won't let me put the link in. It's either this QR code, which I don't even know how they're used, but it's either the QR code or you go to. I have a typed out link in the description of the video. I typed out a link in the description of the video, but you go to Mountain Man, buy me a coffee, Mountain Man, and I am the creator with Trump silhouette in the bat signal. Very easy to spot. Very easy to spot. Let me see what this one is here. What is this video? NBC Nightly News becomes the first mainstream media outlet to report on the massive Potomac sewage spill. Trump put out a long truth about calling out the leadership in D.C., Maryland, and Virginia. What do we call that? The DMV. That's what Fani Willis calls it. I'm going to the DMV. All one territory that they've captured. So anyway, Trump called him out for dumping raw sewage, sustained raw sewage into the Potomac River, which drops right into the heart of the Chesapeake Bay, one of the most unique ecosystems in the face of the earth. And nobody's doing anything about it. Nobody's even talking about it. Meanwhile, they want to, Virginia's talking about taxing people for their lawn care equipment. Bad enough, they make you buy a car 3 or 4 times over the years, paying them once a year or twice a year for the privilege of owning a car. Now they want to go after your lawnmower, ride mower, push mower, weed eater, whatever.
In Washington, it could be one of the largest environmental disasters ever in this country. A massive cleanup is underway after hundreds of millions of gallons of waste spilled into the Potomac. Tom Costello is on the scene.
The river George Washington called the nation's river is tonight off limits and contaminated after a 60-year-old sewage line in Maryland broke open last month, spewing more than 240 million gallons of raw waste into the river. The same river that flows past the Kennedy Center and the Lincoln Memorial and used by boaters, kayakers, high school and college rowing teams.
So you can see some of the toilet paper and the sewage up on the banks there.
Riverkeeper Dean Nalyukes says the stench and environmental environmental damage are staggering, with E. coli levels more than 10,000 times above EPA quality standards at the time of the spill. While slowly coming down, health experts warn no one should be boating, fishing, or even touching the Potomac. Is drinking water at all affected here?
No, from day one, drinking water has never been impacted by this.
But massive boulders that collapsed into the 6-foot-wide pipe are delaying the repairs. Meanwhile, President Trump managed, while more fired back, saying the pipe was federally built and regulated, and the Trump EPA has been slow to respond. The fear now, the Potomac may not be safe for months. You used to swim right here?
I've swam right here.
Would you swim in here again?
Not for a while.
DC Water expects to have the immediate repair job done by mid-March, but overhauling the entire line could take at least 9 months. Tom?
Tom Costello for us. Tom, thank you.
Yeah, do you think they might be doing that on purpose? It's all going by the Kennedy Center. It's all going by, right by the monuments and staking up the whole town. Think they might be doing it on purpose. So anyway, real quick, I'm going to talk about this, the Mullahs. Are they facing a doomsday? Observers report that multiple additional United States KC-135 Stratotankers and U.S. Air Force KC-46 Pegasus are currently departing from other bases across the United States heading northwest, many likely preparing to cross the Atlantic toward Europe and the Middle East. That was following this report. The Gerald R. Ford was spotted off the coast of Morocco, Spain, or near Spain. So if the aircraft carrier USS Gerald Ford continues to move at its current speed, it will arrive at the coast of Israel by Sunday morning. Against the backdrop of a large number of U.S. Air Force aircraft that have been deployed to the Middle East, everything is heading towards very troubling times in the region. A pair of E-3 Sentry AWACS aircraft of the U.S. Air Force have landed at the Mildenhall Air Base in the UK for subsequent deployment in the Middle East. Trump is basically doubling the forces down there. At the end of January, we wrote that the U.S. Air component was only lacking AWACS aircraft to launch an operation against Iran. And now these aircraft are starting to arrive in the region. So far, Iranian authorities have been able to successfully delay negotiations with the Americans by promising minor concessions and continuing consultations. However, if it fails to reach an agreement on key demands to stop uranium enrichment, reduce the nuclear arsenal, and eliminate the axis of resistance, the U.S. will use all its military power, which is increasing with each day of continued negotiations. Oh, by the way, two more. Talk about Joe Force. Two more. Now, see those poor fishermen? Those poor fishermen, they got 2, 4, 5 engines on back. 5 engines, probably 250 horsepower apiece. So you probably got 1,250 horsepower rock and roll in there. They're going fishing. So anyway, 2 more. Strikes by the U.S. Air Force on 4 boats involved in drugs transportation in the Caribbean Sea and the eastern part of the Pacific Ocean on February 13th and 16th. As a result of the 4 strikes, 4 more boats, I thought it was 2. 14 people are no longer on this earth. They have no more earthly wants. I'll put it that way. No more earthly wants. So here's one more report. Let's see what this is. Did you all hear about this? Tucker Carlson was detained at Ben Gurion Airport in Israel due to an interview with the American ambassador, according to Daily Mail. According to the American journalist, he and his staff were detained and questioned by Israeli officials after an interview with U.S. Ambassador Mike Huckabee, which took place at the airport. Carlton's passport was confiscated, and his executive producer was taken for questioning to find out what the interview was about. What? I don't understand what's going on here. Initially, the former Fox News host was denied entry into Israel, which is why he principally did not leave the airport premises. According to two sources from the Daily Mail, negotiations involving the State Department took place regarding the journalist's admission to the country. In the end, the Israeli government decided not to ban Carlson from entering the country to avoid a diplomatic incident. So, I don't understand why it's even a story if they let him in. And, they're not going to mess with Huckabee because all they're going to do is P.O. Trump. And they don't want to do that. I don't know. We'll see what happens with it. Rubio is secretly discussing the future of Cuba with Raul Castro's grandson, writes the Axios portal, citing sources. He claims the discussions are taking place outside the official channels of the Cuban government. It is noted that representatives of the American leader have also been communicating with other influential Cubans. Don't forget, Marco Rubio's family were Cuban refugees from the overthrow done by Marxist forces. Here's something from the European update. This was probably especially prescient to people in Europe after Hillary giving her interviews and comments after media revealed that Polish soldiers were to undergo training titled Human Rights and Gender Perspective in Military Operations. What? Human Rights and Gender Perspective in Military Operations. Oh, my. The Ministry of National Defense announced it was withdrawing from the decision to organize this training. So they're losing steam in their movement. Gosh, there's so much other stuff I got. I guess I'm going to put up a bunch of stuff tomorrow. Here. This would be a good one to clip. You won't see this on other news services.
Yesterday's attack, just the latest in a string of high-profile mass shootings allegedly involving transgender individuals dating back to 2018. Among them, shootings in Maryland, Colorado, Tennessee, Iowa, Minnesota. Of course, the shooting in B.C., British Columbia, and the shooting yesterday in Pawtucket. Now, there are also multiple reports tonight, Kaylee, that the gunman shot 3 of his own kids, killing one of them along with his ex-wife, before then turning another gun on himself and deleting himself. Now, there are 3 victims who remain hospitalized tonight. Of course, we're continuing to monitor their condition. If we get more information, I promise to pass it along. But for now, back to you.
Please do.
Sad story.
Deleting himself. Deleting himself. Well, I have to remember that term. That's a very good term. He deleted himself. He hit the escape button and deleted himself. Anyway, yeah, we're coming up on the 2-hour mark. Yes, Miss Mendersu said to save the link. Once you go to buy me a coffee, it helps you in the future. You just got it saved in your device. So, man, we got so much stuff. But there's only so much time in a day. I have got a video that I want you all to watch. Another video for you to enjoy, so to speak. Ha ha ha. Or as, what did I say at the beginning? Curly Howard says, nyah, nyah, nyah. Oh, I got some, Trump puts up so much stuff. Video of Chuck Schumer back in the day where he's a hypocrite, but we know that already. Where did she go? I had a girl I wanted to put up there. Stick with me, folks. I'll find it in a minute. Whoa. Here she is. Is this her? No. No. I'm not sure who that is. Where did you go, woman? Huh. Here she is. Here she is. Here, I want to put this over here, and this right here. See, I can move stuff around. Isn't that cool? But anyway, folks, what do I always say? I say thank you for spending your precious time with me. I do appreciate it. And I should be going live tomorrow night. It may be just a talking head because I got a lot of stuff I want to talk about. But if I'm playing clips all the time and stuff like that, or doing my own production, it's hard to stay focused and hard to, there's just not enough time in a day. So anyway, folks, see what you get out of this clip. And you may want to clip it in your toolbar there, your scissors, and share it with your friends. Okay, folks? But anyway, I hope you all have a great night. Enjoy this clip. I'll be seeing you soon. This is Mountain Man, over and out.
Let me hold your hand when I say this. We do not move to America because we think it's a better country. We move here because it's a little less worse than our other countries. Because you're stupid to think that we moved to this country for some hot dogs and some baseball. We have better vibes, music, food, culture, history, literally all of the above. We just moved here because we are looking to make more money and offer a better chance for our families. Did you know that the minimum wage a day, not an hour, a day in Mexico is not even 15 American dollars? Not even 15 American dollars. Right now with $15 in San Diego, I could go maybe buy a matcha and half of a granola bar, honey. If you support ICE, you support people getting destroyed. If you support families getting destroyed, I hope you rot in hell. And I will see you there, babes, for sure.